to Mark Gibson Shumawi's channel. Accountant with designations CPA, MBA, CMA, ACPA, ASA, Australia. Enjoy learning!
Partnership formation, no? So back in my college days, this is one of the, sabi natin na favorite topic ko kasi nga parang ang dali niyang gawin. Dahil in partnership, by definition, ito kasi 'di ba sabi natin group of two or more individuals who bind themselves together, tapos lahat ng mga magpag-aagrihan nila, yun yung masusunod, no? So parang pag the approach in the problem is sundin lang natin kung ano yung sinasabi ng problem, and then that's it. Parang ganun kasimple yung sa partnership formation, no? So by definition, it consists of two or more persons, no? A partnership consists of two or more persons who bind themselves together to contribute money, property, or service to a common fund, which have the intention to divide profit, no? So that's the definition of partnership. Now, in terms of partnership formation, syempre, you will contribute asset to the partnership, no? How are we going to record that, no? So in terms of valuation, so number one, agreed value. Bakit agreed value? Kasi nga 'di ba sabi natin kanina, we form a partnership, it's consensual, so meaning kung ano yung mapag-agrihan natin, that will stand, no? So, for example, may building ka, and then all the partners, no, within the group agree, oh sige, ang value niyan is 50,000, then that's it. That's 50,000. Now, in the absence of the agreed value, kung hindi kayo nag-usap, no, so lahat kayo tahimik, ayaw magbigay ng valuation, then we use fair or the appraised value. Okay? So, of course, let's talk about the entries, debit asset, kung ano mang asset yung kinontribute, and then credit capital, no? So that's how you record the asset contribution. Now, what if there's sabi natin there's an existing sole proprietorship, and then you will need to move it to a new partnership books, no? So paano yung treatment naman sa mga liabilities, no? So when those liabilities are assumed by the partnership, that the entries would be debit capital and credit liability. So ito yung pag sinabing to be assumed by the partnership. Pero tandaan class, if the problem doesn't speak about assuming liabilities, no? Meaning if the problem is silent, then wag natin i-assume that the liabilities will be taken over by the partnership, no? So kasi ito nga, naalala ko na naman yung prof ko sa law back in college. Sabi niya, do not assume or never assume, because it will just create an us of you and me, no? Ano yung spelling ng assume, di ba? A-S-S-U at saka M-E, no? So never assume or do not assume, because it will just create an us of you and me, no? So wala lang, naalala ko lang siya ulit. Anyway, it's important to know the equation, no? But in this case, mas relevant, asset minus liabilities equals to capital. Kasi nga, you are forming a partnership. So lahat ng asset na dinadala mo, also the liability will account for your capital or contributed capital, no? So an increase in asset will increase your capital. So there's a direct relation between asset and capital. Of course, and a decrease in asset will decrease your capital, no? And then in terms of liability, there's an inverse relationship naman, no? So an increase in liability will decrease your capital, and a decrease in asset will have a related increase in capital, no? Ay, sorry, dapat to, edit ko na ngayon, ha? Dapat to liability. Alright. Also yung mga ganun class, pag may nakikita kayong error, no, sabihan nyo lang din ako agad, kasi wala namang perfect, no? So ayan, nagkakamali ako, tumawa ka pa, di ba? Hindi mo nahuli. Sa susunod, hulihin mo, ha? Anyway, so pag-usapan ngayon natin yung contributed capital. So, di ba kanina sabi natin, asset less liability is your capital. Ito, gawin lang natin siya in a template form, no? Para at least parang nagko-compute na tayo. So, contributed asset, sabi natin ang valuation is either agreed value. Kung walang agreed value, then we go to fair market value or appraised value. Less all the liabilities assumed by the partnership. Take note of that class, ha? Kasi not necessarily liability ng isang partner before coming through the partnership, automatically it will be assumed by the partnership. Hindi ganon, no? So if the problem is silent, then we do not assume that the partnership will take over those liabilities, no? So less mo yun do sa contributed asset mo, then we can now compute for the contributed capital, no? Next, total agreed capital multiplied by the capital interest ratio agreement, no? And then we can compute for the capital credit. So paano later on we'll also cover that in various discussion problems, no? Para lang at least ngayon theory tayo, kasi syempre, no, as accountant we're more focused on the calculation, no? Pero let's not leave all the theoretical part behind, no? Ano nga yung ibig sabihin ng capital credit? This is the capital of each partner after formation. So once you have agreed, so sabihin natin 1 million pesos. Out of that 1 million pesos, magkano yung kay Sheila, kay Mark, and kay Alden, o parang ganun. And then it's always based on the agreed capital, no? And then if the problem is silent, contributed capital, this one, is equal to the capital credit if the problem is silent. Ha? But usually, nag-iingay ang problem. No? So sabihin niya, this is the agreed capital. No? So in that case, we have to calculate for the total capital credit. So with that, para lang mas ma-appreciate natin yung theory, let's go to discussion problem number 1. So discussion problem number 1, the requirements are, what is the total capital after formation? Number 2, what is the amount of cash to be contributed by B for his interest in the capital of the partnership? No? So kung napapansin nyo, in partnership, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, kung ano lang yung mapag-agreehan nila, yun yung susundin natin. So let's have problem number 1. Since we're just discussing, no, yung concept, gawin ko na yung long method, no? So meaning, instead of just putting all the numbers in one form, gawin ko na yung lahat ng journal entries, no? Para at least when you go back to the recording, mas masundan mo yung flow, no? So A and B will form a new partnership and following are ascertained. Partner A, will invest cash for 300,000 pesos for 60% interest in the capital and profits of the partnership. So meaning si A daw will have 60% interest in the capital, no? Or in the partnership itself. So entry na natin yan agad. So debit cash, credit A capital. So okay na tayo dyan. Letter B, B will contribute land with an original cost of 40,000 and fair market value of 70,000 pesos. So again, class, initial recognition is agreed value. In the absence of the agreed value, then we'll look for the fair market value or appraised value. So in this case, ang given is the fair market value. Then we use fair market value of 70,000. So that's land, no? So debit land, credit B capital. Next bullet, B will contribute building, which has an assessed value of 50,000 and appraised value of 90,000 pesos. The building is also subject to a mortgage of 40,000, ito na, which the partnership will assume. So in that case, ano ngayon yung valuation ng building natin? Sabi natin kanina, di ba? Agreed value, pag wala, fair value, or appraised value. So therefore, debit building for 90,000 pesos. And since we're going to assume the mortgage, credit mortgage payable of 40,000, and then yung difference would be a credit to B capital for 50,000. Okay? So with that, compute na natin tong kay B capital. Sabi ni B will contribute sufficient cash for his interest in the capital of the partnership. No? But before that, establish mo natin magkano ba yung total agreed capital. No? So sabi natin si A will invest 300,000. Eh, kung napansin mo, wala namang ibang information. Excuse me. Wala nang ibang information uh, related to A. No? So nag-iisa lang siya, 300,000 at sabi ng problem, yung 300,000 daw na yon represents 60%. No? So kung yung 300,000 represents 60%, may way na tayo to compute for the total agreed capital. So 300,000 divided by 60%. So the total agreed capital would be 500,000. So paano ulit na-compute yun? Si A daw will invest 300,000. That 300,000 will represent 60% interest in the capital and profits of the partnership. Kung 60% si A, of course, no? Dalawa lang naman sila. So 40% will go to B. So 500,000, ito yung total agreed capital. So kung babalikan mo yung formula natin kanina, total agreed capital multiplied by the capital interest ratio para makuha mo yung capital credit. So yung kay capital credit ni B, that's 500,000 multiplied by 40%. So that's 200,000. Yan yung kay B, ha? Eh magkano na ba yung na-contribute ni B? So isa-isay natin, no? Si B, nag-contribute na pala ng 70,000 na land. At the same time, nag-contribute din ng building na 90,000 with the accompanying liability or mortgage payable, no? So plus 50,000. So initially, meron na siyang contribution na 120,000. Pero magkano ba yung capital credit na should be? It should be 200,000, no? So 200,000 less 120,000. So meron ka pang 80,000. So that 80,000 would be the cash contribution. So debit cash and credit B capital for 80,000 pesos. No? So I hope nakakasunod. Okay. So actually may sagot na tayo sa questions 1 and 2. Pero but it's just the same, complete natin yung statement of financial position or yung balance sheet ng partnership, AB partnership. Pag ba ganun, may nagchat-chat sa akin sa Zoom? Mukhang wala naman. Anyway, so cash. So lahat ng cash kunin ko. So that's 300,000 plus 80,000. So that's 380,000. Land for 70,000. Building for 90,000. So total assets would be 540,000. Mortgage payable, dito na tayo sa liabilities and capital side, 40,000. And then capital ni A, ayun, 300,000. And then capital ni B, that's 200,000 or add mo na lang to lahat, 70 plus 50 plus 80. That's 200,000. So total liabilities and capital would be 540,000. So that's problem number 1. Siguro ang tricky part lang dito is to calculate the total agreed capital, and then from total agreed capital, you can now establish the capital credit. No? Not necessarily, kaya nga in the last bullet, number 4, etong bullet number 4, dito stated na B will have to contribute sufficient cash to complete yung capital credit requirement niya na 200,000. No? So, okay. So that's problem number 1. Let's proceed to, problem number 2. So, problem number 2 muna. So, what is the total capital after formation? What is the capital credit of A upon formation? And the number 3, what is the amount of cash to be contributed by A based on their agreement? Medyo pixelated yung picture, pero tingnan natin dun sa Excel file natin, hindi naman, no? So, masyado kasi malaki yung picture dun sa file. Isa-isayin natin to. Lakihan ko pa to ng konti. Ha? Kita pa ba? Ayan. Sige. So on January 1, 2022, A and B decided to form a partnership. They have the following statement of financial position. So dalawang sole proprietor, they want to merge their business and form a partnership. Ito daw yung mga respective balance sheet ni A and ni B. Okay. The following were agreed to be adjusted. Una, the equipment of both A and B are under depreciated by 1,500 and 4,500 respectively. Pangalawa, both A and B needs to set up an allowance for doubtful accounts amounting to 12,000 and 4,500 respectively. Number three, upon formation, they will have 60-40 profit and loss ratio for A and B respectively. All liabilities will be assumed by the partnership. Okay, noted. And A must invest to bring the partner's capital balances in proportion to their profit and loss ratio, which is 60-40. No? So sige, say natin, unahin muna natin si B. Si B, magkano yung unadjusted capital niya? So unadjusted capital niya is 49,500. Ayan, given pa rin naman yan. Or there's a way for you to calculate it. So simply 73,500 less for 24,000. No? Yun din naman yung makukuha mo. 49,500. Pag-usapan ngayon natin yung bullet number 1. Sabi kasi sa bullet number 1, dapat pala yung bullet number 1, sabi, equipment of both A and B are under depreciated. So class, pag-usapan natin to. Kung merong under depreciation, anong impact nito sa equipment? So kung under depreciated yung equipment, ibig sabihin ng equipment mo is overstated. No? So imagine mo na lang, hindi tama yung depreciation na ni-record mo, no? So pagdating sa balance sheet mo, ang equipment mo is overstated, no? So ganun na. Dahil overstated ang equipment mo, anong effect sa capital? O di ba sabi natin, pag asset, there's a direct relationship to the capital. So therefore, kung overstated ang equipment mo, overstated din yung capital mo. Anyway, sinulat ko rin naman dito, but just so you know, no, para lang din mas mabilis na lang din ma-recall, no? So there's a direct relationship between your asset, no? So in that case, kailangan natin i-adjust, no, yung under depreciation. Kung overstated ang capital, so therefore we have to deduct 4,500 kay letter B, no, kay partner B. Next, allowance for doubtful account. Sa allowance for doubtful account, pag-usapan natin ano ba yung impact niya. Sabi dyan, hindi ka nakapag-set up ng allowance for doubtful account. So therefore, in your balance sheet, yung AR mo would be overstated. Kung overstated ang AR mo, at sabi natin there's a direct relationship with capital. So therefore, your capital is also overstated. So in that case, we have to deduct minus 4,500. Saan galing yung 4,500? Given naman siya class, no? So that's minus 4,500. Okay, so ito na yung capital before formation. Okay. So, sabi kasi natin, ang interest nila would be 60-40. 60% kay A and 40% kay B. So, in that case, pwede na natin ma-compute class yung total agreed capital. No? So, that's 40,500 divided by 40%. That's 101,250. No? So this is the total agreed capital. Lagay ko na yung agreed capital. Sige, tuloy natin ngayon. Paano naman yung kay letter A? So kung meron tayong total agreed capital, oops, of 101,250 at kay A, 'di ba? Si A, ang capital interest ratio niya is equivalent to 60%, no? So ang total capital interest, capital credit ni A should be 60,750. Pero magkano ba sa ngayon, no? So ang unadjusted capital ni A is 57,000. That's given. Again, no, bullet 1, sabi may under depreciation by how much? 1,500. So minus ulit natin yon. There's also a need to set up an allowance for doubtful account for 12,000 daw kay A. So minus ulit natin yon. So in that case, ang adjusted capital is 43,500. Ang question ngayon, magkano ba yung should be? No? So that's 60,750. So to bring the partner's capital balances in proportion, kailangan mag-invest ni A ng 17,250 additional cash. So ngayon, kaya na natin sagutin yung mga questions. Number 1, what is the total capital after formation? The answer is 101,250 or letter C. Number 2, what is the capital credit of A upon formation? That's 60,750 or letter B. And number 3, what is the amount of cash to be contributed by A based on their agreement? No? So that's 17,250 or letter D. Kung napansin nyo class, ang ginawa nating approach dito is instead of calculating pa all the cash and liability, and we went straight to their capital balances. No? So ganun din naman yun. No? So kunin mo lahat ng cash less your liability. Diba? Yun nga yung equation natin. Asset less liability is equals to your capital. No? So ito yung shortcut version na. No? Instead of putting all the entries, yun yung ginawa natin sa problem number 1. A different flavor in problem number 2 is to go straight to the capital balances. No? But kung napansin nyo, same approach, same pa rin naman yung result na makukuha natin. So that's problem number 2. I think, ayan, sige. So let's have another problem. No? So what is the amount of cash to be invested by C for his capital interest in the new partnership? No? So let's have problem number 3. Again, lengthy problem pero isa-isay natin siya. Ang tanong lang naman is si si letter C. So, sige. Andito, meron ng existing partnership. Sino? Si A and B. O ito class something that you have or something that you have learned under your partnership law. Sabi natin, in partner pag meron kang i-accept na panibagong partner, you have to dissolve the existing partner and create a new one. No? So in this case, merong papasok na bago, si partner C. So A and B partners sharing 60-40. The following is the statement of financial position of the said partnership. So ito na yung balance sheet niya. The existing partners agreed to admit C as partner to form a new partnership, ABC. Ayan yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? The terms of their agreements are as follows. Allowance for doubtful accounts to 4,500 is to be established. Inventories are to be restated at the agreed value of 170,000. The accrued expenses of 4,000 are to be recognized. The accounts payable will be assumed by the new partnership. ABC will divide profits 5:3:2, and the capital balances after formation of the new partnership will reflect the said ratio. A and B will make personal cash settlements between themselves to adjust their capital balances. C, on the other hand, will invest additional cash for the investment in the capital interest in the new partnership. Actually, ang question lang sa atin is letter yung cash to be invested by C, no? Pero kunin natin lahat para at least mas ma-appreciate pa yung buong concept. Okay. So kanina, kung napansin mo, ang approach ko is hiniwalay ko si A, hiniwalay ko si B. But in this case, gawin natin no, sabayan na. Kunin ko muna yung unadjusted capital. So capital ni A, 133. Given pa rin naman yan. Capital ni B, 108,000. Now, ano ba yung mga agreement nila? Allowance for doubtful accounts to be established. Magkano? 4,500. Allowance for doubtful account, dahil hindi na-establish yan, ang AR natin is overstated, therefore, capital is also overstated. No? I-split lang natin between A and B. Magkano, paano ba yung split nila? 60-40. So therefore, 4,500 multiplied by 60%, 2,700 for A, and then 1,800 for B. Now, inventories are to be restated at the agreed value of 170,000. Magkano ba currently? 165. O ito na class ha. Di ba initially, sabi natin ang asset, agreed value. Kung walang agreed value, fair value. So in this case, meron ng agreed value, 170,000. Currently, it's recorded at 165,000. So therefore, merong increase in inventory of 5,000 pesos. So yung increase na yon, dahil merong increase in asset, ergo, there's also related increase in capital. No? So 5,000 multiplied by 60%, 3,000 for A, addition, and then 2,000 for B. Next bullet, accrued expenses of 4,000 are to be recognized. So meaning, kung merong increase in liability, sabi natin, liability has an inverse relationship with capital. So increase in liability will decrease your capital. No? So 4,000 multiplied by 60%, so that's 2,400 minus for partner A, and then 1,600 for partner B. So meron na tayo ngayon ditong capital before formation. So 130,900 for A, 106,600 for B, for a total of 237,500. So ang daming pwedeng itanong dito sa problem na to, no? Kaya kinompleto natin, at least alam mo kung paano yung approach, no? In case ang question is how much is the capital of A before formation. So ito na, no? Next, how about the capital after formation? So tandaan, magkano ba yung total agreed value nila? Sasabi nila, ang total agreed value represents yung ownership ni A and B. Pero magkano ba yung stake ni A and B? Di ba sabi, 5:3:2. So meaning, 50% kay A, ito na yung new interest, new capital interest ratio. So 50%, oops. 30% and 20%. No? So therefore, para ma-compute natin yung total agreed capital, this 237,500 divide by 80%. No? Kasi ito yung sa dalawa, A and B. So that's 296,875. Ano tong 296,875? This is a total agreed capital. Okay. So kung meron ka ng total agreed capital, pwede na natin ngayon ma-compute yung share ng bawat isa. No? So paano yan? Ito na yung capital. Dito na tayo mag-focus sa capital after formation. So 296,875 multiplied by 50%. So that's 148,438 for A. 89,063 for B. And yung question sa atin, no? 59,375 for C. So, paano ngayon na-compute yung kay C? 296,875 multiplied by 20%. No? So kung para malaman kung tama yung na-compute natin, of course, get the sum. So that's 296,875, which is your total agreed capital. Now let's answer the requirement. No? What is the amount of cash to be invested by C? So the answer is 59,375 or letter C. Kung napansin nyo class, very straightforward. Mahaba yung mga problems on partnership, but very straightforward. All you have to do is follow kung ano talaga yung napag-usapan doon sa problem. No? So wag ka nang, do not deviate. No? Kung ano yung stipulation in the partnership, you just have to follow it. No? So kaya favorite ko nga to, sabi ko sa inyo during undergrad, kasi walang masyadong technicality. Susundin lang talaga natin kung ano yung sinabi ng problem. Yun nga lang, siguro ang challenge lang dito is dapat alam mo yung relationship ng asset and capital. Kasi like in this case, no? Imagine kung hindi mo pa alam yung trick, isa-isa yung pa-analyze yan. Ano nga bang kailangan kong gawin kung hindi na-establish ang liability, kung overstated ang asset. No? So at least, ulitin lang natin, no? Ang asset and capital, they have direct relationship. So meaning kung nag-increase ang asset mo, increase din ang capital. Kung nag-decrease ang asset mo, decrease din ang capital. On the other hand, ang liability and capital, they have an inverse relationship. So kung nag-increase ang liability mo, decrease ang capital. Kung nag-decrease ang liability mo, increase ang capital. So yun siguro yung quick guide or cheat sheet na pwede kong share sa inyo in terms of partnership formation. Actually, that ends our discussion on partnership formation. No? So let me...
This has been your instructor, Mark Gibson. Thank you for learning with us. See you in our next discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!